Meredith jumped on the wrong bitch. What's good, everybody? Thank you all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. We are here today to talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 14. And the name of the episode is called My Big Fat Greek Mother's Day. Okay? This episode, Heather, Whitney, and Meredith really got on my nerves. They really got on my nerves, and I'm just happy that, we move forward and it's over with. I don't like how we got there, but I'm glad that we are able to move forward because I'm sick of it, okay? So the episode started off with Bronwyn. Angie and Heather finds a reverse sticker chart that Bronwyn posted, and it's a list of what they call it, the hear ye rules that the girls made for the group with their pictures above. And so the way that she did it, it was like it's going to be a red mark if you violate the rules. And whoever has the least red marks, Bronwyn is going to buy them a prize. Now, I have questions, right? Who is giving the red marks? Because I believe that it should only be the person who was offended. So if I said that if the rules there, we're not supposed to say something about each other family member, and Lisa said something about Angie's family, then Angie should be the one that might make the mark. Or I do feel like that sometimes it should be, if we're gonna all do this, it should be something that should be discussed with the group if we feel like a person has actually broken a rule. But I'm not surprised. Bronwyn gives me this type of girl that she would come up with something like this. Girl, I remember when I was in 5th grade, we had these charts when I was in the 5th grade, and the red card was the last card. You used to get 5 steps to get to the red card. Baby, I was on red every day. They didn't know what to do with me because I was a smart kid, but I would act a fool. I would act a fool, and they didn't know what to do with me because I was in the talented, y'all call it talented and gifted. We called it Vanguard or Sites. And so they really did not know what to do with me. They wanted to send me to an alternative school, but my mama was like, "No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that." Okay. Angie is there saying that she should just fill Lisa's line up with the violations. I don't like that. I just feel like Angie is looking for any opportunity to call out Lisa on something. And I just don't like that. It's like she's trying to make it her claim to fame. You know what I'm saying, girl? It's getting tiring. A lot of y'all are really getting tiring of me, okay? So it's Mother's Day, and everyone is sitting outside having breakfast besides Meredith. And Heather says that this is the best Mother's Day ever, being away from her kids.
In some ways.
While some of the other women there, they miss their children, I really like that Brittany was vulnerable enough to share her Mother's Day is kind of touchy for her. She said that Mother's Day is kind of touchy for her, but she's happy to be around other mothers. But her relationship with her daughters are complicated, whereas the other women, their relationships with their children seem to be normal. And I think that it's nice that she has taken ownership. But the truth of the matter is, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, right? Just because these mothers have their children in their household doesn't mean that their relationships are normal. Because I can tell you right now, I don't think Heather likes her children at all.
We all know that. No.
Heather does not like her children. I don't care what you say, all of that joking and stuff that she's trying to make it seem like she's doing. It's the truth in every joke. She does not like those girls. She does not like them, okay? Mary went to check up on Meredith. Meredith looks a lot like Caitlyn Jenner.
That's wrong.
I'm sorry. Her and Caitlyn Jenner to me are identical. Maybe I need to look at another picture. They could at least pass for sisters. Okay? Meredith basically said that she's tired and fed up with Heather and Whitney and the way that they treat her or have been treating her these last couple of weeks. She said the accusations that Whitney has made about her are damaging, and she said that Heather and Whitney are mean girls. They are, but Meredith, you give mean girl energy too. I will never, girl, to me, it's kind of hard when girls don't keep that same energy, right? You were throwing water on Brittany on the boat or the yacht. You threw her unicorn overboard. You threw your hairpiece at her. And not only was you being mean, you was being violent with her on the plane. And I feel like you jumped on the wrong bitch.
You did.
You jumped on the wrong bitch. You scared of Heather and Whitney? You scared of Heather and Whitney? Or do you think that if they cousins, if you hit one of them, that they gonna jump you?
What?
Because Lisa said that she ride or die, and I feel like that if you got into a fight with one of them and they tried to jump you, I feel like Lisa will backdoor. You jumped on the wrong bitch. You jumped on the wrong bitch. But I guess it's no fun when the rabbit got the gun, right? Mary tells her to tell Whitney exactly how she feels, okay? So the ladies are going to do activities for the day, and so they break up into groups. So one group is going to go cooking, and the group that's going cooking is Brittany, Whitney, Heather, and Meredith.
What?
And then on the donkey ride, some of the girls are going to go on the donkey ride. It's going to be Angie, Lisa, Bronwyn, and Mary, okay? Now, why in the fuck would Angie put Meredith in a group with all of her enemies? Why would she do that? That was so messy to me. Angie said that it's for the good. For the good of whom? Good for the hoes that want to fuck me up? There's no way. And that's what I'm saying. These girls play around too much and they don't know how bad things can get. Right? I do understand Angie wanting to separate her from Lisa, but if we're going to be fair, we have to separate Whitney and Heather.
Yup.
And we have to separate Whitney and Heather because they're a package duo. Angie is nasty for that for me. To me, I feel like for Angie to do that, for me, you got something against Meredith. I'm sorry. I just think that you got something against Meredith for you to do that. Because there's no way we separating Heather and you know what I'm saying? You're not going to let me have my teammate or my ride or die with me, but you're going to let these hoes come over here and jump me. I don't like that at all. Okay? So they get in the sprinter. And Heather shares her grievances with Meredith. And in the middle of them going back and forth, Meredith received a phone call from Brooks and she answered the phone. Okay. Brooks was calling her to wish her a happy Mother's Day. And the women complained about that. Well, specifically Brittany, right? So she ended up hanging up with Brooks. There's no way Brittany will be telling me anything about getting a call from my son on Mother's Day, right? Just because your daughters won't call you, don't mean that I got to reject my call from my children. Because I actually raised my children. I never put nobody above my children.
You're horrible, mother.
You get what I'm saying? So you're not going to make me feel bad that my child is calling me on Mother's Day, okay? Anyway, Meredith ended up apologizing to Heather again, and she said that she didn't know what else she wanted her to do, right? But that wasn't good enough for Heather. Heather then tried to usher in Meredith issues with Whitney and Brittany. That's none of your fucking business.
That's none of your business.
So Lisa jumps in and Whitney says, well, I want to hear from Meredith. And this is my thing. How come it's okay for Heather to always usher in other people in her argument or whatever is going on against Meredith, but when Lisa jumps in, she's doing too much? How come every time Lisa jumps in, she's doing too much? Right? So Whitney asked Meredith, why does she feel like she's always coming after her? Meredith said, because you do. And Whitney said, why? And it's clear that Meredith didn't want to talk. So Lisa started telling her, because you said that she was a pill popper, because you said she was an alcoholic. And Whitney says, I want to hear from her. This isn't fair to me. And the thing is, this isn't fair to me, the little white woman game. You can't play that with other white women, mama. You can't play that with other white women. So Meredith said, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. Girl, you know what you did. Whitney, you know what you did. Quit being obtuse. And my thing is, how come the women, I feel like they try to referee when stuff is going on. Well, later on in the episode, they tried to referee what was going on. But why are we sitting up here acting like Whitney doesn't know what she did to Meredith? You called this girl a pill popper, and you said that she was an alcoholic, and you said that she had mental health issues.
Now you know you need an ass whooping.
So why are the other women acting like Whitney don't know what she did to her? Girl, you know exactly what you did, okay? So the sprinter ended up dropping off the cooking group, which is the group that Meredith is in, and Meredith gets out the sprinter, and she just starts walking down the street, okay? The other women in the group was greeted by the cooking teacher, Giovanni, and they just continued on, okay? We found out that Giovanni is actually from Crete, just like Angie's father. I think that Angie should have had Meredith in her group or a group that she was comfortable in. I do think that this was too much for Meredith. You know what I'm saying? For me, a good host, and it's not about me, you know, caping for Meredith or anything like that or whatever, because I think that I think that Meredith was definitely wrong, 100% wrong in the way that she was treating Brittany.
Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that.
But I feel like a host, if I'm talking from a host standpoint, I think a good host has to make sure everyone is having a great experience. And I think that Angie putting Meredith in a group with her enemies or people that she's beefing with, there is no good that can come from this. There is no good that can come from this. And she's going to have a horrible experience. So Angie is with the group with the women that ride donkeys or whatever. And Angie reflects on how blessed she and the other women have it, because when her dad was growing up, she said that all he had was a donkey for transportation, and he would have to load it up with groceries and walk it 17 miles to get home. And now her and all of the other women in the group, they all are driving expensive cars. It's stories like this that I like about these trips. That's why I like when the trips are more personal, so she can, reflect on things like that. Meredith, back with the cooking with Meredith, the group that she's supposed to end, she realized that she's going to be training and have to come back with the cooking group, right? And to me, Meredith, it just looks so immature of Meredith, because to me, I felt like that she just wanted to cause a scene. She wanted to cause a scene, and she wanted the other women to chase after her. And when they didn't, she had to come to reality, and she had to come back over there to go cooking before she ended up missing over there in Greece. Or sex trafficked somewhere, or somebody thought that they was probably going to have a TS fantasy with Meredith. I felt like she wanted the women to come and chase her, and she was just trying to cause a scene, because me personally, there's no way I would have even got off the sprinter to give them hoes the chance to get me. Again, 2 words, Shunquilla. I'm not playing like that in another country with some enemies of mine. I'm not playing like that, okay? Meredith, came in. She was welcomed by Giovanni. Meredith's energy was off. She was killing the mood. She was ruining the experience. And to me, this is all Angie's fault. I can't put this on Meredith. We already knew how Meredith was feeling about being in this group. This is Angie's fault. Not only did she ruin the experience for Meredith, she ruined it for the other girls as well. Even though they seemed to have a good time, it was embarrassing. And I think that she did ruin the experience for them as well. They ain't gonna never say it, okay? Giovanni ended up noticing and asked her what was wrong, and she said that I'm sad. And she said that she missed her son and she won't get to talk to him. He's on the flight and she won't get another chance to talk to him that day, and she's hurt and sad, right? I understand Meredith, but I do feel like Meredith was putting a lot on it. I do feel like she was putting a lot on it, okay? So the donkey crew, they talking about how things are going with the cooking crew, and they tell Lisa that she needs to step out of it and let Meredith and Heather work it out. But it seems like in order for Meredith and Heather to work it out, Meredith also needs to work it out with Brittany and Whitney, and I don't think that that's right. That's none of Heather's business. That's none of Heather's business. That is not Heather's business. Am I missing something? I feel like that she already apologized to Brittany and they already moved on, and she had already apologized to Heather on the sprinter. But Heather wanted to push it a step further and then usher in Meredith issues with Brittany and Whitney. Lisa said that she's loyal. Everything that they saying is going in one ear and out the other, and so she's always going to defend Meredith.
I'm that ride or die mother. I'ma hold this kingdom and palace together, you heard?
That's a sister right there. Meredith, you don't deserve this type of loyalty for Lisa. You don't deserve this type of loyalty from Lisa, because you have not been showing up like a real sister, okay? Meredith says that she's worried about Meredith. She said that something is off.
The nerve of this bitch.
Then all of the women from the donkey crew, they ended up meeting all of the women at the cooking class, the rest of the women that was at the cooking class. I think that was horrible. Angie, I'm sorry, Angie. I felt like that y'all had like a experience. These girls didn't really have an experience. They over here slaving over this food and shit. You get what I'm saying? If y'all got to ride donkeys, they at least should have been able to ride a trolley or something, and then y'all come up and meet together and eat or go to the cooking class, right? How come they didn't have an extravaganza? I don't know. I didn't like that, okay? The women want to know if these girls was able to move forward. You get what I'm saying? Meredith, Brittany, Whitney, and Heather. And Heather says that Meredith was upset about Mother's Day and asked her to share. And so she said the same exact thing that she said earlier, but this time Heather went off and she was activated, right? So Heather needs a little push from the rest of the group to really get activated.
Hey, you're weak, honey.
Then she had the nerve to say, join the club. Join the club? Heather, we know that you hate your fucking daughters, right? If I was Meredith, I would have told her, girl, I know that you hate your daughters, but we have 2 different experiences when it comes to raising kids, right? Your ex-husband left you over there miserable with them daughters and you hate them. I can't help that I actually had help with mine and I have a wonderful experience with my kids and I actually love my kids. I actually love my kids. They can come and stay with me any day of the week. You damn near throwing your daughters out the house. You're horrible. Most of the women feel like Meredith is trying to detour the conversation from her and Whitney because they said that they all knew that they had to be there or were going to be in Greece for Mother's Day. But I need for Heather specifically to pipe down because the same shit that Meredith was doing in this scene, she was doing it in the other scene, and Heather wasn't doing all that and giving all what she was giving. She wasn't giving all that. But you can't tell me also, you know, I get that she's probably trying to detour the conversation in a sense, but y'all can't tell me how to feel on Mother's Day.
I'm a damn good mother!
Whitney ended up apologizing to Meredith for calling her a pill popper and an alcoholic, and then she got in the confessional and said, but it doesn't take away from my concern.
See, that's a dirty ass bitch right there.
Meredith jumped on the wrong girl. Meredith jumped on the wrong girl. Heather is very weird to me. If I just got through beefing with you, I'm going to need some time, right? I'm going to need some time to myself. I'm going to, you know, all of the jokes and stuff must stop. They must stop. Because every time you joke at me, I'm going to feel like I'm trying to be made the ass of the joke. So they was on the Sprinter on the way back to the villa, and Whitney called Heather out for not bathing.
What?
Heather said that she does bathe, but it's when Whitney is out of the room. And she also said that she does a 10-1-2 method. And then Heather says that Meredith does a 10-1-2 every time. And so I guess that means, you know, a piss and a shit. The 1 and the 2 is for like a piss and a shit. But my thing with Heather is if we just made up, don't try to joke or clown me.
Message.
I'm going to need some time. Just because I forgave you and we trying to move forward, we ain't healed yet. Right? There is still a wound. There's still a wound here. Just it's a Band-Aid over it. But we not fully healed yet. We ain't there yet when you can come and joke with me. Because every time you joke at me, I'm going to feel like that you picking at me when you trying to make me the ass of a joke. But Heather gives me that type of girl who doesn't realize social cues. Or maybe we just grew up in two different worlds. Let me know. Maybe I grew up in a so different world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we can forgive each other and move on, but I'm going to need some time before we get right back to like we was. Once they get back to the villa, the women were outside by the pool. Meredith had this bikini reveal, and Heather and Angie pick up the bikini because it was the top to the bikini. And so they put on a bikini top, like a cover-up. When I say top, I mean like a cover-up. They put the bikini cover-up on Angie. But as Angie was putting it on, her heel almost ripped it, right? And I'm telling you, if I'm Meredith and my swimsuit ripped and Heather had anything to do with it, there is no way you will be able to convince me that she didn't do it on purpose.
I don't give a fuck what y'all saying. I don't give a fuck what y'all saying at all.
There's no way you would be able to convince me of that. Because again, I feel like you're trying to make me the ass of a joke, and I feel like that you're trying me and you poking at me. Leave people shit alone. And when you and somebody make up, give them some time. You got to give me some time. So then we get to talking about the kisses and stuff like that. Bronwyn shared that she's actually bi. I did not know that. Okay. So she was really wanting this open relationship with Todd. So it's so funny. I seen a post on Twitter last week, and somebody else sent it to me this week, and I forgot to talk about it. But we have 3 housewives this year that filed for divorce from Todd's. Right? We got Candy, Alexia, and now Bronwyn, who all have filed for divorces from their husbands, and their name was Todd. And now we have 2 of them that are actually bi with Candy and Bronwyn. Okay? Angie, Lisa, and Brittany said that they never kissed a woman, that they strictly dickly. Okay? Brittany said that she has kissed over 367 niggas. Brittany, she said that's the sluttiest that she get is kissing.
Whatever, ho.
I don't know if I believe that. 367 men? Kissing? My God. Okay. Now, I wonder if Mary ever kissed a woman. Do y'all think Mary ever kissed a woman? I wonder if Mary ever kissed a woman. She will never say it on camera because she's going to have to get behind that pulpit, but I'm sure she has. And I'm sure Heather has too. She give me sure try anybody who's interested in her. She give me desperate. She give me desperate. Yeah, she give me desperate. Okay. The girls get ready to go out. Mary is tired from the jet lag, so she's staying in. And then they get in the Sprinter, and Brittany shares that she has trademarked high body count, okay? Angie seems to be upset about it because she's the one who actually said it. But she did say it about Brittany, right? How do I feel about it? Because she did say it, but she actually said it about Brittany. Angie did not invent the word high body count. So I don't see a problem with what Brittany did. To me, it's the same thing as Candy in the dungeon, right? What did she say? I can turn a shade tree into a money tree, right? It was something that Portia said, and Portia thought that she had 8. She thought that Candy was embarrassed. Candy wasn't embarrassed, and she created a dungeon tour. And then remember, we had a reunion dedicated to the dungeon because Candy had ended up making a tour out of it. And she actually invited, when they had the polo gate, it was actually called the dungeon, right? And so they dedicated the reunion to the dungeon, okay? I think the girls want Brittany to be embarrassed by it, but she's not. It's the same way that people think that Candy should have been embarrassed by it. And people even questioned whether she really had a dungeon or not because she went on with the tour with the name The Dungeon, right? But Candy turned lemons into lemonade, okay? And that was the end of the episode, okay? Do y'all think that Brittany's wrong for trademarking high body count? I don't think that she's wrong. I don't think that she's wrong. And if you think that Brittany is wrong, then you think that Candy is wrong for going along with the dungeon. You know, using the dungeon as the dungeon tour and shit like that. But if you think that Brittany is wrong, then you think that Candy is wrong. Because these are two similar situations. How do y'all feel about Meredith? Because I feel like Meredith jumped on the wrong girl. I feel like Meredith jumped on the wrong girl, and I feel like there's a lot of hypocrisy in the group. To me, I think it's clear that the girls do not like Meredith and Lisa like that. You can tell when they was invited to Angie's church how they was, sitting up there talking about them. So I do not like the fact that they want to separate Meredith and Lisa, but they don't want to separate Heather and Whitney. And again, the shit with Brittany and Meredith has nothing to do with Heather and Whitney. Because on the plane, they didn't actually do anything or stop anything. They just trying to get themselves involved in something. And I don't like it. And I think that Meredith was dead ass wrong for what she did to Brittany on that plane because I actually believe that she did. However, y'all didn't do nothing on the plane. Y'all didn't stop her when the shit was going on. Y'all waited until the plane ride was over to even get involved and do anything. So why are y'all so concerned now?
Why y'all do nothing when the fat bitch jumped on me? Y'all trip.
All right? But thank y'all so much for clicking on the video, y'all. That's all I got right now. Please like the video, y'all. Please hype the video up, and subscribe. Okay? Please, 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 please. Okay? Thank y'all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate the love and support, and I'll see y'all later. Adios.